that instantly first pick Void Spirit and 0 bans to cover it.
Lycan ban. Yeah. That doesn't cover it?
What do you mean? As a counter to Void Spirit?
Yeah. That's what I've been seeing, at least. Because the problem is, we saw yesterday, where Void Spirit, he has like Treads, Wraith, or Null Talisman, and a Chrysalis or a Yols. Lycan has Necro and HOD.
And you can't. I mean, Lycan right now looks ridiculous versus anything.
True. I'll give you that.
From my experience, if you pick Lycan, you just end the game faster than anything else. They go with Dark Willow and Grandma.
I don't know about that.
It's a peculiar opening, right?
The problem is these heroes are both susceptible to the same things, which is reach and magic, BKB heroes, anything like an Ember. Honestly, isn't Void Spirit built to kill these heroes?
Isn't Nyx Assassin a perfect pick for them now as well? Counters both of these heroes with the Carapace.
Really
amazing,
hard.
Yeah.
And they haven't really kept any flexibility, right? Like this should be very clearly their 4-5 on the side of EHOME.
I mean, you could theoretically core both of them, but it doesn't feel good, that's for sure. And it means that the next few picks have to be perfect. I think Vici 100% banned Void with their 1 ban in that second phase, just based on what I see so far.
Yeah, Mortimer's Kiss Void combo. Yeah, it's pretty good. They go with the Lion. They go with some extra catch.
I think this hero is underrated, and I would not be surprised to see something like a Lone Druid come out now. So probably my favorite combination goes all the way back to when I was playing Han, this Lion Lone Druid combo where you have tons of lockdown, and especially with the new Mask of Madness build on Lone Druid, just tons of raw physical sustained damage, and you deal with structures, and you kind of protect your Lion, who's then free to play the backline, get multiple rounds of spells.
It's funny that you're mentioning Lone Druid because it kind of fell out of favor, but there you go. The ban comes from them, actually. What I wanted to say is there's this strange point in the meta in which heroes aren't picked, even though they're really good, just because players and teams have forgotten about them.
Yeah.
They're banned constantly, banned. And when you're going through the recent games of your opponents, you sometimes get a little bit lazy, don't really check all the single bans, right? And it gets away. Now Lone Druid, it is a good ban.
I will say the line kind of covers them, so they don't ban the Void, but you don't necessarily need to when you have all this lockdown all of a sudden. The Kunkka pickup from EHOME, they needed catch, they needed something with some more team fight.
All right.
Wow.
Davai, get those
That's
supports.
Davai plays
I
right
mean, we've
there.
said it before, right? Like China's kind of become what CIS used to be, this just outright constant aggressive play. And what hero embodies that better than a Spirit Breaker?
It's quite nice, too. You get the status resist with the Rampage, and then you look at these heroes, you're just going to tank all these stuns. And the downside of this support duo is that, yes, sure, they're very high damage, but their damage is purely based on their experience gain. They're not going to scale in that sense. So a Spirit Breaker with like 2,000 health at 10 minutes, sure, you might be able to kill him, but you're going to have to use a hell of a lot of your abilities. And if you do that, the rest of his team's free to play goats.
Also, one thing, they picked Kunkka so early on. Now, Kunkka versus Void Spirit, that matchup on its own isn't amazing for Kunkka, at least from what I have witnessed so far.
It was better if the pure damage was still applicable from the W, but it isn't.
Yeah, but you can dodge every skill that Kunkka has later on as a Void Spirit. And in the laning stage, you easily secure the range creep, and you kind of see us the same way. It's a skill-based matchup. Now, another thing is, this Void Spirit can be offlane, and then you can pick something that completely crushes Kunkka in the mid lane, something like a Razor or a Monkey King comes to my mind. So we'll see if Vici Gaming decide to just go and completely crush that mid lane or leave the Void Spirit in it.
Terrorblade very early again. To your point, what are you gonna last pick now? I mean, assume let's say it's an offlane Kunkka. At least you get the last pick mid. But to go Kunkka TB, it's a great duo.
But why?
But it's so early.
Why when you still have the?
Immediate.
Is anyone
Darkseer
banning Terrorblade at the moment?
What a you got to see the dark. This is my favorite combination.
Yes.
Back into charges, sick. Really good in the laning
You
phase.
have with Lion as well. The stun.
So sick. And that's Darkseer. There's a lot of reasons to pick it. If you check all the boxes, it's a Darkseer game. Do you have an illusion core to deal with? Check. Do you have multiple stuns on your vacuum? Check. Do you have a core and a support to play with? Check.
Do you
need aura items?
Do you have any supports that can clear your Iron Shell? Versus you? No, because they opened up with their 2 supports.
Yeah.
Oracle isn't there. Nothing like that is around. You're not playing versus anything like a Juggernaut that they just banned out. You're fine.
Yeah, you just need something that deals tower damage now,
Yeah.
and you're good to go. Your team fight's nuts. You force BKBs just because of the Vac stun combinations. It's all about the physical damage. Sven?
You think it's
an
gonna be
option?
I've always loved Darkseer Sven. It's a great counter pick to the TB. And if you look at EHOME's lineup, they aren't able to play with enough pace. Sven hits that timing really early on with like the Mask of Madness.
They don't have a lot of kite as well, I guess. There's Cookie, there's Terror.
How do you kite him if he's surged, though?
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Consider all of these stuns as well.
I was gonna say, do you also feel like usually we see a Terrorblade, right? If he doesn't have a good start, he can fall back to the jungle like level 2. Would you feel confident leaving either of these supports alone in that lane, like with the Spirit Breaker, the Darkseer?
Probably not. I don't think that...
Are they possibly afraid of some cheese? Because remember, this Kunkka can still go off lane.
It's true.
And then you are opened up to some heroes such as Meepo, maybe even on the mid lane.
Meepo would be sick
Yeah.
for Vici, actually. It's another reason I actually don't mind the Sven, just to cover you against that. I think a Huskar is also a possibility.
There's cheese options for both of these teams.
Because TB, we shouldn't think of it as this hard late game hero. It's similar to Adusa in that if you get a mid game tempo, you can just kind of grab an early Aegis and look to potentially even just go high ground your second, third item. You deal some significant structure damage, especially if you have something like a Huskar to zone out the enemies so the TB can just focus on blasting buildings.
They just go with a counter to the TB, more or less. The troll matchup should be quite simple for them.
I like that, because it plays faster, right? Sven also doesn't deal as much structure damage, so you can't get going as quickly. You'd be forced to kind of farm your own woods, whereas a troll, if he especially goes for, say, some Diffusal build.
Exactly, Diffusal would be really
Diffusal,
good.
SNY, Abyssal Blade, suddenly you hit these timings, these power spikes, like, early on, and you can just kind of keep up the aggression, plus you deal a lot more building damage just thanks to Fervor.
This feels like a great way to draft around the Darkseer as well, right? Like the Troll's going to love this Iron Shell early for that kind of pressure.
Yeah.
I
Bat Rider now, possibly, but I don't know how I'm feeling about a Bat even.
Are you imagining the Ags combo? If you somehow got a Snapfire there. Okay, I mean, they do have some bulky heroes.
They do.
But it's...
It doesn't
You're
feel like
playing
a
into
gotcha
what?
pick,
What's
right?
on that lane? Troll plus who's
Lion.
there? Lion. There's a lot of control early on. I don't think Timber will have the greatest lane on the start. Obviously, he reaches that point
Yeah.
in which he is the boss. But
You got to be concerned about the TP charges. That's the thing. It's one of the best moves that you can make, and it's so much more fun to do this as a Spear Breaker. You can get Ion Shelled, you TP top, charge in, boom, now there's 3 heroes, that's a dead Timber, and it's so much faster than you wait for charge, and just rotate
also
back
remember,
down to your
Surge
lane.
is now different again. So Bara plus level 1 Surge even is amazing. And Void Spirit on that lane, I mean, not on the safe lane, but Void Spirit rotating to that safe lane and killing off Timbersaw a couple of times early on in the game could prove to be very crucial. And it's possible. He brings out so much mixed damage.
It's
yeah.
it's better for EHOME, but I still feel like Vici are in the driver's seat. They're the ones that get to control the tempo. EHOME, you need a great game on your Timber, and Kunkka's got to go off. You've got to find kills in like all 3 lanes by 10, 15 minutes and defend your towers effectively. This is definitely an uphill battle. I'd favor Vici, but I think EHOME have a better shot.
Yeah, I completely would go for Vici Gaming once again. You have Darkseer and Spirit Breaker. Your carry matchups are
It's my
better.
kind of graph right here.
It looks great. It looks simple to execute too. And for eHome, this draft looks wonky as hell.
Well, an interesting assessment from our panelists. Last time it was EHOME you guys vouched for, and they did end up losing that one. So maybe this will be a 3-game series just based on, you know, the reverse of these predictions. Let's throw it over to Sheaves and Danog, and they'll take you through the action, and we'll see how this is going to play out.
Yeah, thank you so much, Killer Pigeon and the panel. Danog, the panel says eHome's draft is wonky. What do you think? What do you say?
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit wonky. I mean, Vici's, I think it's just in comparison, Vici's draft just ticks a whole lot more boxes across the board, right? They're strong at every stage of the game. Good laning, good ganking, good tower push, lots of damage, lots of crowd control. And if they hit their key timings, it's going to be, I don't want to say a walk in the park for them, but it's going to be pretty clinical.
Would you say that this time around, compared to previous game, the previous game we talked about eHome has to get a certain edge in the game, and then they have an easier game, and obviously they didn't do that. But would you say that for this time around, the roles are a little bit reversed? It should be Vici Gaming that should get an edge in the game? at the start.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to be doing that as a Spirit Breaker, right? Like, it's one of these heroes. I think they were talking about it in the panel before the game previously, where it doesn't really matter if you die on this Spirit Breaker a fair amount, as long as you're creating a ton of space to enable the rest of your team to get those early timings. They're playing in the position 4 role, and once you get, you know, let's say boots, whatever ones he chooses to go, and maybe one more survivability item, you don't need much more beyond that.
Oh, Fabian, he does have Timber Chain level 1, but it's not going to save him at this rate. Maybe Zinq can help out, but the right click comes out from DY. A Lion with the first blood, and the charge is on actually with his Bramble Maze on cooldown. All Zinq can do is try to take refuge at his tower. He is fast enough to mostly get away. I say that, but there is an Aether Remnant available from Eurus, and that is 2 kills going the way of Vici Gaming. I guess edge has been had by Vici. They should be able to take 2 runes here on the bottom side, but as the counterpoint, it looks like EHOME gets both of the runes on the top side. So those are will still be split evenly.
I think they're fine with that, and you can see instantly the rotation coming up from PYW. They'll see it as he goes past this Observer Ward in the mid lane, but they're too worried at this point. They touched on it in the panel as well, the combination with the Surge as well now, changing it from 70% increased movement speed up to a plus 250. So in that very early stage, it's going to be even more impactful.
I think it's a little broken at the moment, personally, but we'll see how Yang also will make PYW probably look a little bit broken. We'll see. Yang, in the meantime, he is able to take quite a bit of hits here from Y as he pushes the lane forward. This lane is going to be the most... I think it's Timbersaw. Timbersaw pops the salve. He is okay. Top lane, however, are they okay? Yes, they are okay. Everybody is okay. We have got quite active lanes on both sides, yeah. DY, the Timber Chain is there. The right clicks are not enough because... Oh, the Bramble Maze is enough, though. Zinq will take that kill.
You could see where they were coming from on Vici, realizing that the Timber Chain was used to try and get away from that first blood gank. He obviously doesn't have the reactive armor or the turnaround potential with the Whirling Death, so trying to get something done onto him before he gets that level 2. Still not there yet, so they could continue with this aggression.
Yeah, and they will. Unfortunately, they get a creep with the Remnant. This is going to be
just been a nuisance.
Lane. In the meantime, the top lane is being cut and pushed, and at the moment is all the way to the tier 1 tower on the side of Vici Gaming, so that will mean that Yang gets some free experience. What do we think about this mid lane? Is this mid lane just going to be a wash, Troll versus Kunkka? Are we just not going to look at that?
I mean, it's going to be rough for the Kunkka. You know, every now and then he can come in and grab a couple of creeps. I think the way that they've structured their laning setup, they're not going to have too many stacks that the Kunkka can get. You can see he gets the unlucky root early on there in the lane. But, you know, if he's at range, you're just going to get traded against. And if you're in melee range, then you just get blinded and then hit a couple of times. So it's going to be a rough time for nothing to say.
Yeah, in the meantime, Timbersaw did get the level 2, so he should be fine. He didn't die, but well, he did die the once beforehand, but he should be fine from here on out.
Yang getting away as the Metamorphosis gets popped, so avoiding one of those big cooldowns there as, well, they've spotted out this pull that's come through.
Yeah, I think the Timbersaw should have a pretty decent time, right? I feel like if anybody's gonna die, it's gonna be Y. He is taking quite the beating, actually. And with the Surge there, too, he is actually going to die with one right click coming out from PYW. He's taking quite the beating from this Metamorphosis Terrorblade. Has to be slightly careful, but yeah, the Snapfire is just food if she gets out too far, especially if she doesn't have any mana left. She did.
Yeah. Only a couple of seconds left on that Metamorphosis, so now the Darkseer is going to have a lot more confidence to be able to make an impact in this lane. And we can see, realizing that here on PYW, he says, right, Darkseer, you're pretty safe for the next 100 seconds. Let's make stuff happen in this bot lane.
Yes. So the charge is there. He's charging on Faith Beyond. Do you feel like Faith Beyond with the level 2 and the reactive armor, is there still a kill threat for him? Or is it going to be mostly on Zinq?
Yeah, I would have thought Zinq, I guess he can get away with a Shadow Realm, at least in some capacity, with the Bramble Maze as well, but Just seeming like not a wasted rotation, but not quite as impactful as they would be hoping.
Yang gets forced to pop a salve on the top lane in the meantime, but he's happy, I think. The wave is going to be pushed all the way towards him. In the meantime, in the middle lane, though, nothing to say. He's going to have a visitor in PYW. Just stepping up, saying hi. At the same time, we also have Snapfire making the rotation. Gotta help, nothing to say. Just in case.
And it's not even the worst thing that they didn't make something happen on that bot side of the map, because PYW, who was able to rotate through to that bottom side as the first rune of the game was spawning, and luckily enough for him, it was a regen.
Well, the charge is on top. PYW making sure that he is everywhere on the map. He's just trying to force the rotations out on the side of EHOME. And he is. This is Snapfire. Why? Just walking back to the top lane. This is his life now. Just following the Spirit Breaker around a little bit, making sure that he can save his carry. And can he save his carry? Yang, he's got to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage here. There's a cookie available as well. Getting the stun up, but the charge is there.
Oh, the bashes.
And Sylar will be the first one to die. Yang gets himself out. He does not have a salve, but it doesn't matter much. He's got some tangos. He's got a soul ring. He should be fine. Runes going up.
Sylar would just be saying, Gaben, please, with that bash RNG, the first hit.
Unfortunate.
He's going to have the surge to chase him down if he wants as well. Look at this insane movement speed this early on.
Right? Isn't that like, it doesn't scale. It's like level 1 has got it all.
Yeah. It's just that duration, so it's going to be a little bit impactful, you would think, and not putting any points into the vacuum just yet. It's not that stage of the game, it's just the stage of pickoffs and farming up as much as he can. He's doing a good job as well, zoning out Sylar as much as he is.
Oh, mid lane, stun coming out, the boat is there as well, and the charge was there on nothing to say, but he wants to go for kills in return as well. He has got Zinq and Y helping him out. Nothing to say, his boat buff will keep him alive for the moment, and nobody ends up dying in this mid lane. This is an observer's worst nightmare. If you look at the top on the health bars, everybody's close to dying.
Who do I look at?
Yeah, exactly. Does leave, with all those rotations mid and top, it does leave this bottom lane to be a 1-for-1 for now. We got Euros versus Faith Beyond, the Void Spirit safe lane versus a Timber Saw. This Void Spirit is doing great on last hits. How do you find because the Void Spirit, you know, he's been played on all the different locations, right? What is the favorite location for you for Void Spirit?
It really depends on the patch, right? You feel like as the mid laner, you need to be playing a bit more of that playmaking style. Maybe now that he's played... Oh, mid lane, actually, they're getting charged.
Yeah, right as he tried to teleport out to save, to get some more health back, he's not going to be able to do that. He is going to be going to the base in a different form, a body bag.
Yeah, playing him on this bot side, you think maybe you might think about going into the Aghanim Scepter kind of a bit earlier on, because you're playing a bit more of that passive role as the position 1. They don't need him to be able to take towers.
PYW will be successfully getting the tower aggro off of him and make sure that no return kills are had for the kill on Zinq's Willow there in that mid lane. Vici Gaming is doing quite well here in the early stages of the game. We're 7 minutes in and they are already 6-1 on the kill score. Of course, this Terrorblade is maybe a little bit of a worry for Vici Gaming. He's getting decent farm, keeping up with that Void Spirit. But it is a Terrorblade. Do you feel like Vici Gaming countered the Terrorblade successfully with their troll pick that they picked last?
Yeah, I mean the panel did mention it quite well. You know, there's two heroes that are really good at countering a lot of the aggression that might come out from the Terrorblade. You're not as afraid, DY. He is afraid, though.
Yeah, he should be. I mean, what are you doing as a solo Lion on the bottom lane by yourself against the Timber Saw?
Yeah.
That's not gonna end.
Soaking up some experience, I guess, as much as he can.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not really afraid to contest into the high ground with that troll pick, right? You can just walk up, you've got the battle trance to be able to get out of any sort of aggression that might come through. You've got a Spirit Breaker who's going to be trying to be the one on those front lines, and then if the TB does pop his ultimate, the Metamorphosis, and try and put some aggression onto you, you can just simply use your Whirling Axes and back off or continue the fight if you've got an advantageous position.
Yep. Well, we're 1.5 minutes away from the outpost being active, and Vici Gaming has taken control over the Dire side one as well. We'll see if EHOME will make a play to try and take one of them back again. Oh, charge happened. That is on the Willow. Does manage to get her Shadow Realm off, but is that enough? Is that enough? I will tell you, it is not enough. In the meantime, Nothing to Say is trying to make something happen. The cookie will actually be a defensive one. There's Nothing to Say, turn around. Doesn't want to initiate into that one. Did use the boat for that.
A little bit of a lack of coordination there on EHOME's end, and I think that's part of the reason is they're starting to panic a little bit, you would think, because it feels like Vici are they're spoiled for choice with how they want to take this game right now. Eurus has the luxury of being able to push forward. They're going to try and get as many kills as they can. Nothing to Say is the one that they were looking for, you would think. Perhaps the Terrorblade as well. They actually connect through with a lucky stun.
Well, that's unfortunate. The Spirit Breaker didn't see the Kunkka, but charged away. Right over the Invis, Nothing to Say. I don't think he can do anything with that Invis rune, unfortunately, for him. In the meantime, on the bottom, it looks like we have got EHOME trying to take an outpost, but it's too late for this one. They won't be able to get any as the fight is happening. Nice Cookie gets the double stun. There's also a Scatterblast trying to do what he can, what Y can do to try and help Faith Beyond get out, and he did help Faith Beyond get out, but he does die for that, unfortunately, for him.
Oh, they wanted to commit. They wanted to take down this tier 1 tower, but I don't think they'll be able to get it. Not quite the level 6 on the Spirit Breaker, so he won't be able to catch out the TV.
Oh, jumping forward, Eurus is in this.
Oh.
The Finger of Death as well. That is the Terrorblade.
Deleted.
Very much so. I mean, he didn't have Sunder, like he didn't skill it yet. He's not level 9 yet. Okay, Faith Beyond, he's got to be careful here as well. Getting charged up, getting bashed up. Nice 3-man stun. Is it enough? The Timbersaw actually able to do quite a bit of damage. Mortimer's Kisses as well, chasing down Yang. That long range is still there. Faith Beyond trying to stop him from going to high ground, and with Xinq's right click, that will be enough damage. And that is EHOME fighting back. That is, I think, Timbersaw for you. If you don't kill him, he's gonna hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Y was the big turnaround in that team fight, connecting with a triple stun with the Fire Snap Cookie. Just allowed them to turn around and have Timbersaw come in, do his work. That might actually be the boots coming out. It is for the Snapfire, so 11 minutes in. Yeah, pretty happy to start moving a little bit faster.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Snapfire, I guess, also. Why? His main impact is going to be, obviously, on top of the cookies, is going to be the Mortimer's Kisses. I think that was the first one that we saw. X-Mark catches the Troll. Bedlam damage coming out from the Willow as well, but is it enough? Or he does not have his ultimate available, but he won't need to pop it anyway. Not even the Tidebringer is enough to do enough damage there to kill him off.
They had the Ghost Ship up right at the end of that team fight, so maybe being a little bit trigger happy with going forward for the kill, think they might be able to pick him off.
When they smell blood, we were saying how they probably felt a little bit pressured there during the first 10 minutes of the game. After winning that fight mid, they might just, see red and just want to go, go, go. It looks like that's what they're trying to do on this bottom lane as well. Yang is not the easiest target to go on, but it looks like they do want to try.
He's running up into him.
He is X-marked. Into the Torrent, into the boat, a Scatterblast and Cookie, it's enough to take him down. There is gonna be backup. The Fear will make sure that Ori does not get the jump there, and that should allow everybody of EHOME to get out from this bottom lane. Great kill. Do you feel like it was worth it using that Terrorize there, though? That's a big cooldown.
I think so. It's still a relatively short duration where they would be wanting to take the next fight, but Vici, they're looking to take advantage of it as much as they can. They're smoking up, they're moving to the top side, trying to pick off this Terrorblade.
Yeah, that is still the true threat for Vici Gaming's lineup. The Terrorblade, not even a fighting, it's a split pushing that they should be worried about later on.
Yeah, true. Oh, they're trying to catch out this Kunkka, misses with the Void Remnant, but he's going to get vacuumed back into this wall, you would think.
He really is. A lot of damage coming out from Yang there. Finger of Blood, but Nothing to Say. He will finally drop Y there as well, or onto him, and now the Timbersaw. Faith Beyond, he cannot get out. The bashes, the nets, it's all there. 3 dead on the side of EHOME, and all they got was a lousy Lion.
Yeah, a little bit lucky there with Eurus having the Illusion Rune bottled up as well, meant that he could dodge the Cursed Crown.
That Surge. Oof.
Yeah, it's kind of busted. Gives me TI vibes with the OG Surge the Alchemist.
Yep. This is yeah, pretty scary. And I mean, to be honest, Willow shouldn't have been that far out after he realized that his tier 1 tower was gonna die anyway. Maybe he was trying to get a range to still get a deny, but you cannot underestimate the chase potential. Like, even if there wasn't a surge, a Void Spirit's movement is no joke.
And speaking of that, on top of that, he's picked up a haste rune, so if they were to take another fight in the near future, which I probably don't think they will, they're going to wait 100 seconds until this Lion's got Finger of Death back up online. It's still another 30 for the 3 ultimates on Troll, Darkseer, and Spirit Breaker, so might be playing just a little bit passively in the meantime.
Well, you say that. There's a lot of people rotating towards that bottom lane. I think they are trying to protect their Terrorblade.
I mean, why not? He's the win condition. You know, he's the one that's going to be focused on. He's the one that's going to be the target of any sorts of ganks. So just make sure he has a decent game.
It does mean that the Kunkka is not able to farm though, because he has to give priority to the farm on the Terrorblade. He's able to get some creeps in the jungle, but it's basically everybody's watching Terrorblade farm at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
Apart from Timbersaw, he's happily farming on the top lane. He's doing fine. He is also one that is, of course, very difficult to kill. And if they do end up going on him, which for now they won't, but if they do, there is a tier 2 tower there, and people should be having the time to teleport in to help him out if that is the case.
Yeah. I'm liking the maximized efficiency as well, coming out from nothing to say. He was waiting for that 15-minute marker to tick over before hitting the Tidebringer onto the Ancient Camp, wanting to maximize his chances of picking up a neutral item, but not quite. And, well, speaking of him, he's getting charged. Oh, that speed.
He really is getting charged and bashed. In comes the Mortimer Kisses, is trying to help him out, but is it going to be enough? He did not manage to get the boat off, and he will drop. And now that they know that Snapfire is here, they'll try to chase down Y. And unfortunately also, they already had a sentry. Like, you're thinking it's nice, he gets a deep ward out, but that sentry is there, and that means the next creep wave that's going to pass is going to kill that ward. In the meantime, Timbersaw is in trouble, but Xingqiu is here with the save, with the fear. Meaning they cannot kill the Timbersaw. It's just a disengage, though. They cannot take anything off the back of it, not without that Kunkka.
Yeah, say what you want about the overall performance. Xingqiu's been on point this series.
Oh, he has.
Oh, look at the speed!
The shining light. Oh, Sylar has got a Sunder available if we really need to. Looks like they want to try and take this fight. That is going to be a Lion. Straight off the bat, they are able to catch him. Cookie doesn't really hit anybody just yet. Yang has to be careful too with the Cursed Crown. He will be the next target by the looks of that. At least the next target of Faith Beyond. In the meantime, there is a wall up as well with the rest of Vici Gaming coming in. They are just starting to work on the backlines. Nice Torrent coming out from nothing to say, making sure that that Troll and PYW Spirit Breaker are not able to get anything done. Or maybe, oh, dude, the bashes are ruthless. 2 kills straight out of that. And the chase is actually on. PYW will have a charge again in a second, looking for a target, finds it on nothing to say. Is there any help? Is Faith Beyond going to be able to do anything, or is he going to watch his teammate die? He is going to be able to do anything. Shouldn't get too greedy because his own life is not secured yet either.
Got the ulti back up again. Oh, great torrent.
Great Cookie as well from Y, helping out there, helping his teammate, helping Kunkka live. And able to kill off PYW. What? Like, it just feels like a rough, like these fights, even though they feel fairly even, EHOME is the one that is seemingly pulling out all the stops, while Vici has the luxury of continuing the fight. Like, they don't get forced to continue the fight, but EHOME was.
Yeah. To be fair, Vici kind of need to make something happen because Spirit Breaker does drop off heavily in his effectiveness as it gets later on, and there is a timing between, you know, the BKBs, but after they get a couple of items, that this Dark Willow and the Snapfire really start to show their promise.
Yeah. When do you think we'll see? Oh wait, I think we're gonna see Sylar do something very soon.
Oh.
It's getting charged. Is the charge gonna continue? Yeah. Jeez, that speed is just so dumb. Sorry. I mean, look at him.
I mean, you call it like it is. It is pretty dumb.
It just looks ridiculous. I mean, it's really good. That's why it's dumb. Yep. So I'm happy with this pick of the Darkseer, and I think we're gonna see it a lot more as well.
Here we go.
A new charge up on the Dark Willow.
He's going to get the drive-by as well. Boom.
Yeah.
And
DP out.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a nice route right there. Very, very well done by XinQ. 4
Tactical
people
route.
on the side of Vici, yeah, on that top lane. I mean, that's a lot of space created by XinQ as well, because that just means that Terrorblade can continue farming. He's going for Aghanim Scepter next. You like it?
On XinQ?
No, on
Or
Sylar.
On who, sorry? On Sylar, my bad. Let's have a...
It grants you Terror Wave. Causes a wave to travel outwards in all directions, forcing enemies to be feared upon impact. Wait a second.
Yeah, and it's
hold
actually a
that thought
toggleable
back
one this time.
into a wall here on this bottom lane. They're trying to make sure that, well, they're trying to get some kind of advantage. Fights in 2 locations at the moment. This troll, though, is going mad. Ori is able to go core after core. He already took out the Kunkka, and now he will be able to take out that Timber Saw as well. Looking for more. The haste, the surge is on. It's on XinQ. XinQ does still have a Shadow Realm available. Will be forced upon very, very soon, but it's too late. Too much damage coming out, and there's the charge on why he already bought back to be in this fight, and I think he's gonna regret just that, because there's no way, like, there's nobody left to save. At least Sylar was able to teleport to the other side of the map and continue his farm over there.
Look at how silly this is. It's just like, he's doing it again.
Yeah.
Granted, not with a surge, but he's continuing the pressure.
Yeah,
Sorry to
that's he's doing his job well.
He's continuing to chase him up. I just don't know if Ags is the play, right? Like, yeah, they changed the ultimate so that it's now toggleable when you use the Metamorphosis, but I don't know, is it really that effective? Do you want to just send the Spirit Breaker sprinting back to his fountain? He's just like, get out of here, get out
yes.
of my face.
I'd say yes. I don't know. It's an interesting choice. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see if he actually gets it, because I feel like at this rate, Vici Gaming is kind of like limiting the map control that EHOME has in this game, right?
Oh.
They're forcing out a lot of movements. Wait a
Gang's
second,
gone on.
let's see if EHOME can kill off this Darkseer. They've been chasing it for a little while. The vacuum into wall is still there, but it's not enough to save a life. Kill streak ended. Timbersaw rich.
Pretty valuable streak to be given up, so he's popping everything to try and make himself survive as long as he can. He used the pipe. It did take a lot of their abilities to be able to do it, but I'd say fairly value for EHOME. They've got a little bit of time now that they know that they're not going to have that big team fight turnaround. Yeah, it just seems so weird. I kind of want to see this this TB Ags come off just for the memes, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you much of a Simpsons fan?
No.
Well, there's
I mean, I
this
know
one
The
episode.
Simpsons.
Yeah,
But
there's
sure.
this one episode where like the grandpa walks into a brothel and then sees Bart and then turns around and walks back. I kind of want to see that happening when, you know, Spirit Breaker charges the TB, then gets just pushed back to base with a fear.
Yeah.
Like, nope, I'm out.
But then... Well, the thing is, at some point you still need to fight, right? Like, that's what I'm worried for. It's like, great, you have an axe. I mean, he has an axe. But fearing people away, is it gonna get you enough time to still do some damage? Because you need to be able to kill off your enemies at some point as well.
Man, look at all this aggression being put here onto the Dark Willow and trying to turn it around onto the Spirit Breaker, not expecting that Eurus was going to be there to back him up.
No, in the meantime, the rest of Vici Gaming is taking out the Roshan and making the map even smaller and making EHOME even more, like, they should be a little bit more worried when they go out farming. When that agent's on that, like, you know that the next fight is probably not in your favor for the next 6 minutes or so.
Yeah. He's got the axe now, though, on the TB, and Willow's going to be up in another 5 seconds. Going to be a bit too late, though.
Speaking of axe, something that I know is a more... Well, I think it's a better axe anyway. Won't jump to the low ground. Y is still charged, though, and he's still dead. But the axe is done for the Void Spirit, and that 2-second silence is going to be killing for a lot of these heroes. Nice vacuum wall. Looking for targets to kill. They won't find anything on this Terrorblade. Terrorblade is actually going to find targets to kill, but he is going to be dead indeed with a long-range finger from DY. And Ori is in onto the high ground, looking for nothing to say, looking for this Kunkka who has got the boat buff, but not even the rum will save him now. Double kill for Ori, and Eurus going into the base of EHOME, seeing if anybody is dumb enough to leave their fountain. And they were not, so he's not going to get a kill there. That was a dive towards the fountain without even killing tier 2s. That's the state of this game for Vici Gaming. They are 5k gold difference, which is not that much, to be honest. Kill score, sure, is very much in their favor, but that's how this game is like out of control for EHOME right now.
Yeah, I feel like they're just really confident around their timings, though. So they've got the Spirit Breaker, obviously. He's just sitting in there on the front lines. They just picked up the Spirit Vessel, so they wanted to get a couple of charges through it. And then, as well with the Void Spirit Ags, when you think about it, if he gets that Resonant Pulse off onto a bunch of different heroes, you got 2 charges on it, so that's a lot of physical damage reduction. What can a Kunkka do against that? What can a TB do against that? That's a ton of damage reduced right off the bat.
Yep. It is. I think they saw that the Snapfire was here. They're not going to be able to catch him though. To teleport out. Oh, Faith Beyond getting netted up constantly by Ori here. It's not enough to kill him off yet, though. He has got that Aegis, of course. He doesn't want to burn it without the full team being here. Void Spirit is on his way. The ultimate, it's not yet there. 2 seconds for the ultimate. He wants to pop it. There he goes. He gets it. Faith Beyond didn't have the mana to finish up that Troll Warlord, and that means that he gets free reign. In the meantime, PYW is bashing, nothing to say, and everybody dies all across the map. Everybody getting their own targets, and the GG is cold. EHOME not able to fight against his onslaught that is Vici Gaming. To be honest, I did not feel that Aghanim Scepter at all.
Yeah, I don't think we saw it. Maybe we did, and we were just too focused on the endless battle between the Timbersaw and the Troll Warlord.
We saw it once. It was in the middle lane when they were charging up the Terrorblade at the high ground, and then they got fear